Hello, how are you? Well, thank you for having me. Beautiful venue here. I sent many tweets already about venues, so many people watching, I think. Many people watching today. Very interested to see what's going on here. And so I've been following this event actually for a few years. I remember maybe in 2012 you had an event. And maybe I message Maxime and say, hi, that's interesting. Maybe I'll come to your event someday. And here I am, 2015. So great to be here. I actually volunteered to be here. Someone maybe sent a message to the OSGeo board and asked for a speaker. I said I would love to go. So my first time in Moscow, in Russia. So yes, very first time. I'm going to, as was said earlier, I'm the president of Open Source Geospatial Foundation, OSGeo. So this is a little handwritten picture that was done, I think, in 2003, 2004 by Venkatesh, who invented the term phosphor-G, his daughter. So quite a cute little picture. So I give you some background on myself quick. So believe it or not, my family has some history here. Maybe no one knows in this room. But this is my smaller brother, very small, but he's over 2 meters. And he played professional ice hockey all around the world for many years. And his last place professionally was here. Samara, I don't say it properly, but HC, yeah. I don't even know the name of the team, I can't say that well, but he was in Samara and he said it was a beautiful place. He said it was a beautiful place. So he was very excited for me to come today to experience. And he played in NHL, which is Champions League of ice hockey, for 8 years. So that's some history of my family here, but this is where I come from, on the east side of Canada. So my small town of maybe 2,000 people, very famous for lobster fishing. So it's a fishing town. And yeah, so I took this picture. It looks like a fake picture. It looks like a fake picture. But it's a real picture I take on my smartphone. So. But the weather, not sunny ever, mostly fog. This may be one day of sunshine all year. So, yeah, right on Atlantic Ocean. So I always like to speak of community, and that's why I'm here. That's why we're all here. It's the open source community. And a foundation was sort of created, a non-profit foundation was created in 2006. Like I said, it's OSGeo. And the whole purpose of the foundation is to promote and develop and encourage the use of open source geospatial. The whole foundation is volunteer. There are no paid positions. So it's purely a volunteer organization, non-profit. And it's all about community. And I just want to today talk quickly about many activities that OSGeo is trying to do. Again, to promote, to help the use of open source GIS all around the world. So recently we nominated several new board members. You can see the foundation has 9 board directors on the board from all over the world. We have new members from Japan, Korea, Austria, and several places. So it's a very worldwide organization. Many of you might know that we have projects within our umbrella. These are projects that we help through many ways, and we have several projects. You can see some big projects there you might know, like GeoServer, MapServer, open layers. You heard about GDAL earlier. GeoNetwork you might know of, which is a catalog search tool. And you know of several desktop projects within OSGeo's umbrella, including QGIS, Quantum GIS, GRASS, which is raster vector library. So we have lots of projects. But you know, also the whole goal here is to make projects grow, new projects. So we have many projects that are coming into OSGeo. And so I often now like to speak more of the new projects because that's a lot about what we're trying to do. We're trying to encourage new communities and new software projects. What is new in this week is that GVSig, which is, I think, based in Spain, which is a desktop GIS. If you haven't used it, think of it as similar to Quantum GIS. So it's GVSig. Maybe check it out, download it. It's developed, I think, in Spain, and it is just recently this week being promoted to a full OSGeo project. So it's big news, big news. We also have what we call charter members. These are nominated members of the community, and they help shape and decide things at the OSGeo board level. They nominate the board of directors. They do several things, and you can see in 2015 we had 37 new charter members, and these are worldwide. You can see that many Europe and Asia charter members, as well as North America, and then all over Asia. So it's a very worldwide organization. We have this concept of local chapters, where this is where the real work happens. So this is where translating happens. This is where the meetings like this, smaller meetings, smaller than this, get together monthly, and they talk about open source GIS, what's happening in the local community. And so local chapters are the most important part of the foundation, most important. That's an example of a local chapter in India. We also encourage local events like this, such as code sprints. Many of you might know the term code sprints, where some developers get together in a room with no outside light, just high speed, maybe some coffee, and then developing for a few days. So the foundation encourages code sprints. We can provide some funding to help these sprints happen. We also encourage larger events. We have this a conference I hope you've maybe heard of called FOSS4G, FOSS4G, Free and Open Source Software for Geospatial. We started that in 2006. But it was started, this conference, FOSS4G, in 2004 in Bangkok, Thailand. And I volunteered to go. Didn't know much about the conference, but heard of this FOSS4G small conference, maybe 100 people. And I went, I flew from Canada to Thailand. And then I was sort of helping organize the MapServer conference. I met Marcus Nettler, who was running the GRASS conference in Thailand, and I said, Marcus, let's join MapServer community with GRASS community, and let's call it this name, FOSS4G. So we created FOSS4G global event, which moves around the world, 3 different regions each year. And then we have smaller local FOSS4G events. And this is an example of an event in Japan. They have a FOSS4G every year in the local community. They have several FOSS4Gs. And right now, today, is starting FOSS4G Osaka in Japan. And I got some tweets in the audience. They were watching from Japan, this event. So, great. There's FOSS4G in Hungary. And then there's a Phos4G. The next big Phos4G is in Germany in August. So maybe one to circle in your calendar is the next big global event for Phos4G is the 24th of August. There will probably be 1,000 attendees there, maybe 1,100. Very large event, very large event. I encourage you to try to go. It will be a very great event in Germany. One of the smaller events will be in India next year. So there will be a Phos4G Asia in India, and this really isn't announced yet, but it is coming in India. And also new news this week, last week, is Phos4G 2017, which will be in North America. And we had 3 bids, one from Canada and Ottawa, two from the United States, and the winner was Boston in the United States. So that's where the big event will be in 2017. So we also promote education, and very strongly. I hope maybe some of you have heard of Geo4All. If you're an educator here, researcher, student, looking for a network, this is your network, geo4all.org. So this concept is many researchers, institutions, universities all around the world, sort of networking, talking about curriculum, materials, teaching, also getting funds for institutions. Really great concept, only created a few years ago. Check it out. Very great work done by that community, and really started through the OSGeo community. OSGeo participates in the Google Summer Code, which is put on by Google, but they provide funding for students to work on open source projects. So each year we have about 10 to 20 students working on OSGeo software projects and being paid by Google for a summer job. It's a really great thing. I also like to promote a healthy, the word I would use is ecosystem, you know, the whole healthy community. A big part of this community, like I say, is education and the software, but also the companies behind it. The people offering professional support, very important for a healthy community. And Next.js in English, but so that's an example of a company that is offering professional support, development, teaching, training, solutions to the local community, which is so important, so important. And they're just one example, because there are many, and many, and don't get offended if your company isn't listed here, but I just tried to give you a glimpse of how many different professional organizations are out there in the world offering open source support, professional support. You can see some big names like CartoDB, Boundless, but the size doesn't matter. It's that they're there, they're offering professional support. So very important to the community. We also at the foundation like to encourage growth of new communities, and a recent new committee started at OSGeo called the Open Geoscience Committee. So these are, again, researchers looking to focus on open source geospatial and looking to build a network. This started at Phos4G Europe this summer. So if you're a researcher wanting to get involved, you might look up that name of the community and join. We also, at the foundation, like to partner with other foundations. And this is very important. And this is a picture from last year. This is the president of International Cartographic Association, ICA. which is a very, very large global organization. So a few years ago, we made an agreement. We shook hands, the OSGeo Foundation and ICA, and that agreement has been great, because you know what created that? What came out of that agreement was GeoForAll. So this handshake, and actually a handshake before that with Arnulf Christel from Germany, who was the past president of OSGeo, helped build and create GeoForAll. So these maybe, you might think political handshakes maybe mean a lot to the community in the long run. And also at the recent Phosphor-G Seoul, the big global event that just happened in Seoul, Korea, in September, we met with the United Nations group, a UN representative, and we signed agreement with the United Nations GIS team to help promote open source geospatial through the UN. So I don't know what will come out of that, but it's a brand new relationship, and could be really good for the whole community and for countries all around the world. That's what I was just mentioning about the United Nations. So I went very fast. I did 40 slides in maybe 10, 12 minutes, but I wanted to give you a little background of what the foundation is. Remember, there's no cost to join. Everything is free. The software is free. Join the mailing list. There's many mailing lists. The big mailing list is Discuss. It's called Discuss. And say hello, introduce yourself. Like I said, there's no cost. We're all volunteers. I think everyone here should say hello, pick a software project that I mentioned earlier, go to the mailing list, introduce yourself. If you're not a developer, don't worry. Believe it or not, I don't write a lot of code myself. I call myself a GIS person, a data guy, you know? I'm not writing C or JavaScript a lot, but I am a member of community. I write documentation. I do installers for the map server community. So you can help out, even if you're not a developer. If you write, you can write, do documentation. You can answer questions on the mailing list. You can do a lot of things. You can hold local events. You could create a little local chapter, a small chapter. It sounds very formal, these things, like a local chapter, but don't be scared. There's no formalities. You can just create one. Send a message, say we're here, we meet, we're a local chapter, and then I respond, great, congratulations, that's about it. Yeah. So thank you for having me here. I'm excited to be here. I will share the news here through Twitter, and I'm looking forward to saying hello to everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Yes. Are there any questions while you have me up on the stage?
Yes, there are.
Who says that?
Me.
Hey.
Hi, Jeff. Nice to have you here.
Hi.
Any particular plans for opening OSGeo branch here in Russia?
Place? Did you say place or?
Branch. OSGeo branch.
Any particular what? Place?
Plans.
No one has told me. Why not? No one has told me. Please. No, I don't know of any plans. Yes, I want to. Maybe we start today.
Okay.
Good question.
Also, Jeff, you mentioned GeoForAll initiative.
Yes.
And tomorrow, the first talk in the morning will be from Daria Svizinska about GeoForAll.
Is in program. Sorry. Good. Yes, very interesting. We say initiative. And out of GeoForAll, there's these little labs. They call them labs. So these universities say, we have a GeoForAll lab. We have a GeoForAll lab here, and there are over 100, I think over 100 labs now, all around the universities around the world. So please check out, go to the talk tomorrow morning-ish at Geofro talk.
Well, thanks. Does anyone have further questions?
Don't be shy. You can say hello to me at break.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.